Are we headed to World War III? U.S. bases targeted, carrier strike groups moving, Russia still active in Ukraine, China watching Taiwan. So the real question is, are we headed to World War III? Or is this controlled global tension? Let's break this down calmly. What is World War III? Well, World War III would require um, direct war between major global powers, United States, China, Russia, Iran, other BRICS nations, um, NATO involvement, um, multi theater fighting on several fronts: European continent, Asian continent, the Middle East, and even the Americas. Um, Full military mobilization. And what does that entail? Obviously, the United States and the West um, versus China, Russia, and probably several different nations, in the East, some Middle Eastern countries. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about that. You know, and this thing is heating up. Um, Recent strikes, I'm saying, with Israel, with and Tel Aviv, you know, all of this can cause full military mobilization. You know what I'm saying? So, what do we have? Right now, we have extremely high tension. Um, we have proxy conflicts. We have strategic positioning, but that doesn't mean it's automatically a world war. Important distinction. Um, our current flashpoints. Obviously, the Middle East, U.S. bases, in this particular region. Um, Tensions with Iran, our naval, presence. Now, when I bring this up, obviously, one of the bases which I talked about in past videos about how I had a special duty at Manama, Bahrain, and that base was recently hit by an Iranian missile or drone, as that's the headquarters, of the Fifth Fleet, for the Navy. Now understand, um Bahrain, that particular base is a satellite base, and the important distinction, why is that base so important, you might ask? Well, Bahrain, that base um disperses the signals to all the carriers and the naval ships, that are out, at sea. That is one of its major and main functions. So when you target a base like Bahrain, basically you're seeking to disrupt um, naval operations. Which obviously is the Fifth Fleet. So that's their particular region. In the Marines and Navy and probably Coast Guard call it a West Pack. You know, for that particular region. Whereas, or Western Pacific, whatever you want to call it, Western Pacific, whereas when probably the Air Force and the Army, it's considered the Middle Eastern region, but the Marines and the Navy, and Coast Guard, they'll call it a a West Pack, what I'm saying, for that particular region, you know. And as I explained before, Bahrain was um base that I was once stationed at years ago, where I had special duty assignment, and that particular base, it is key, in operations in the Middle Eastern theater, for the Navy, and even Coast Guard, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It is key, but from there, um, it operates kind of like a strategic command for carriers and particular ships, and it coordinates and sends out the signals. And um, not that the Navy couldn't, Navy or Coast Guard, that they could not, individually operate, outside of it if they had to, if it got cut off, what I'm saying. But it is major because it coordinates, um, Fifth Fleet headquarters, for carriers and ships would be like a tactical operations command for, say ground forces, or even if you had um what do you call it, not just because not just air forces, but for different types of aircraft. And every military operation has a tactical command center. So you need your tactical command center is basically, it is the head of the operation. So it basically issues out, what I'm saying. If your tactical operations command center is basically the head or the brain, what I'm saying, then basically, if you have a head and a brain, then your ground forces, or say your ships, are going to be the body, what I'm saying. Those are your arms and legs that carry out the mission um at the tactical level, whereas your tactical operations command center is the strategic, it's the brain or the head. So if they hit, what I'm saying, headquarters Fifth Fleet in Manama, Bahrain, it's basically like you're attacking the head, what I'm saying, of the body, which can cause some serious problems for military operations in that particular, excuse me, in that particular theater, you know. So I'm just giving you some nuance, what I'm saying, as to how things operate, and excuse me, what the importance is. Every military operation has a tactical operations command center. That is where your strategic planning is done. That is your brains, what I'm saying, in the mind of the operation. Whereas the rest of your forces, are the neck all the way on down to the rest of the body, your arms and legs that are coordinated to go and carry out um, the military operation on a tactical level. So whatever the brain whatever the brain tells the body to do, that's what it's going to carry out, and that's going to be its particular function. Okay. Now, this is not brinksmanship, not full invasion yet. Okay. So next, what I'm saying, what are some other flashpoints that could trigger World War III? Russia and Ukraine. You have an ongoing conflict that's been going on for a couple of years now. Um, you have NATO, and the United States supplying support, to keep this thing, to keep Ukraine going in this thing with Russia. Now obviously there's no direct NATO combat troops yet, you know. Now, if NATO were to enter directly, now that changes everything, because now you're getting ready to get into some serious escalation, you know. So, as you can see, this thing is heating up with the Middle East, Russia, and Ukraine. I'm talking about this pot is really getting hot now. If you really want to what can really throw this thing, full throttle, China and Taiwan. This is the biggest long term risk. If China invades Taiwan, the U.S. is treaty bound in regional defense. The global economy is immediately disrupted. And this right here would be a true escalation trigger. I mean, this happens, it's on like Donkey Kong, you know. And the crazy part about it is that with what the United States has done with Venezuela, and then also with Greenland, what can they say? You know, if China goes in and takes back Taiwan, which is really it's a part of China. So by right, um, legally, it is theirs. You know, and technically, they got every right, you know, to take it back, which they do have intentions on taking it back. What's the stop? What can they say about Putin if he takes Ukraine back? What can the United States really say? What can the West really say? Especially after what they pulled with NATO with Greenland, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't exactly like um the United States and its NATO allies is necessarily cool with what it pulled in Greenland, you know? But you have three major flashpoints I'm talking about that are some serious triggers. This right here could set it off. And if this thing keeps on going with Israel and the United States with Iran, it's about to be on like Donkey Kong. It's like, folks, get your gas mask and your chemical ensemble ready, and you better get ready to find yourself the nearest nuclear blast facility because it's on and cracking. You know, now, what actually triggers World War III? I'm quite sure you guys, if you're following, okay, wars start when leaders miscalculate. A red line is crossed, you know, and um, you can't tell me that DJ Trump, you know what I'm saying, man, it's about to get thick. You understand? You know, a direct attack, you know, forces alliance responses. Okay. And this is not social media hype, not headlines, and not tension alone. You know what I'm saying? Historically, world wars begin when alliances activate. So that's when you have forces on one side, whoever's going to align with China, and they align with them, and whoever's going to align with the United States, you know what I'm saying, in the West, they line up together. So basically, it basically is kind of like will come down to probably the U.S. and NATO versus China, Russia, and the BRICS. You know, yeah, and also you guys have to consider NATO Article number 5 is the biggest trigger point. And so I'm quite sure you are asking, okay, well, what is you know, Article 5, you know, in NATO. All right, well, let's roll with it. Okay. Article 5 in NATO. Okay. Article 5 is the core defense clause of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And what it says, an attack on one NATO member is considered an attack on all NATO members. So that's it in simple terms. What it actually means, if one NATO country is attacked, other member countries agree to help defend it. Um, that help it can include military force, you know, if needed. Each country decides how it will respond: troops, weapons, logistics, intelligence, etc. Okay. Now, it does not automatically mean that every country has to send ground troops, but it does mean a collective response, you know, is triggered, you know, which more than likely will include forces from every country. That means that we going all in. Okay. Now, who is a part of NATO? NATO currently includes 30 plus countries, you know, across North America. Obviously, United States and Canada, Europe, you know what I'm saying, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Poland, etc. And the United States obviously is the most powerful military member, you know, just as China is the most powerful of the BRICS nations following Russia. Okay. Now, has Article 5 ever been used in history? Yes, it has. It has been used one time during September 9/11 2001 attacks on the United States. This was the first and only time Article 5 was officially invoked. Now, why does Article 5 matter today? If Russia directly attacks a NATO country or another major power strikes a NATO member, then Article 5 could activate. That's when a regional conflict could turn into a global war. That's the reason why analysts say the biggest trigger for World War III would likely involve NATO. So, in plain English, Article 5, if you hit, one of them NATO countries, you got to fight them all. You know, it's seen as a deterrence mechanism. Obviously, the goal isn't war, it's to prevent it, you know, by making the cost and detriment too high to pay, you know. So, and either way, when you get to a point where you hitting World War III, it's already too late, for either side. Now it comes down to the world, nations basically gonna split and they gonna ride with whoever they riding with, and there's about to be some mass destruction, I mean mass destruction, you know. Now, so um where are we right now? With this tension and this conflict, as the world is tinkering, on the brink of World War III. Right now, we're in high tension, high positioning, high deterrence, you know. So deterrence is where countries start flexing, be like, hey, you don't want to mess with this because this is the price you have to pay, if you decide, to go this route. Um, it's not full scale mobilization yet, and we're getting close. And all major powers know a real world war destroys everyone's economy. So most global powers prefer controlled pressure, not full scale war. You know, if this thing sets off, we all gonna bite it. As we all are tied together, and this means mass destruction worldwide. That means that everybody gets hit. And this time around, the United States, it won't get away. If we get into it in World War III, the United States will be attacked on its soil, and we will suffer, major damage with the rest of the world. Everybody is going to suffer collateral. I mean, massive collateral damage. So guys, get your gas mask ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get your gas mask and chemical ensembles ready, and get ready to find out where your regular nuclear blast facilities are. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like it may be coming to a point, that we're going to need them, you know? This is getting about to get crazy, you know? But as I conclude, I mean, what do you guys think? So, are we headed to World War III? My personal opinion, we're closer to strategic brinkmanship than global war. But the danger in 2026 is not aggression, it's miscalculation. History shows wars don't start because people want them. They start when leaders believe they have no better option. So, if one leader makes the wrong call, it has a domino effect and everybody gets dragged in. But I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. And my call to action on this one is, what do you guys think? Do you think we're on the edge, or is this controlled escalation? Please comment below, because if this thing gets ticked off, we all are affected, and essentially, basically, we all go down. You know, but yeah, share your thoughts on this one. I would love to hear what you guys think, and I'm quite sure some of you have more knowledgeable, and some have different insights, on this global tension that we are in right now. But I'm gonna stop it right there. And the name of this podcast, I mean not podcast, name of this live. This is coming from Rumble. Snacks 123 on Rumble. SNAKZ 123 on Rumble, guys. So please subscribe and follow me here on Rumble. Hit the like or unlike button to like the lives or other videos and live streams. Leave a comment. Love to dialogue with you. Everyone has a right to their opinion and their perspective, and I like to hear what you guys think. You know. Also, this is going up on my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube, EricBroadus YouTube. So please, likewise, subscribe to my YouTube channel by smashing the bell. Turn on all notifications, please, and please, guys, share it, as YouTube sometimes doesn't get the notifications out. Hit the like or unlike button to like all the videos, podcasts, shorts, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever content is up there. But leave a comment. Love to dialogue with you. And hit the hype button on YouTube. So the hype the content to get it pushed out, you know? And also share it. Snacks 123 on Rumble, and Eric brought us YouTube, and I also have my podcast Snack Starts, SNAKZTHOUGHTS, Snack Starts. You can find it on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio, PBM, SoundCloud, host of other social media outlets. And lastly, I have the five best weight loss products. You know, health and nutrition and weight loss. So if you want to take care of your health, lean out, cut, any fat and even belly fat, hey, click on that link, what I'm saying, and purchase the products, take the products, and then share the link with others so they can do the same. Your health is your wealth, guys. Next to God, the next best thing that you have is your health. Without your health, you can't do anything in this life. You get one body, you get one life. You know what I'm saying? So take care of your health, and it will take care of you. But that's all I have on this one, guys. But please share them. Um, Snacks 123 on Rumble. Eric brought us YouTube, and my Snacks Thoughts podcast, and the five best weight loss products. Share them with friends, family, frenemies, enemies, rats, dogs, bats, goats, cats, whatever. Share them, push them out, guys. All right, but something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Are we headed to World War III? It's looking real close, like it's getting kind of hectic, guys. All right, peace out. Catch you on the next one later.